good, Ninja? OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to their PE, Nintendo Switch, and gaming news video. Today, we're going to be focusing on the Media Create sales charts. Got a nice little analysis for you guys, in addition to some Q&A. So if you haven't followed me and want to get your questions answered, especially when we do these analysis videos every single Wednesday, make sure you check out the link in the description below and follow me on Twitter. So this week's Media Create sales charts are in. We don't have the Famitsu numbers. I would have loved to do both of them as far as analysis goes, but I just can't find the Famitsu numbers at this point. I might make a separate video doing the Famitsu because there's always some differences, because Famitsu actually charts online retailers while Media Create doesn't. But for now, we just have Media Create. So this is for the week July 31st, 2017 through August 6th, 2017. Great Ace Attorney is the new big game on the block. It opened up at 79,499 units, although Dragon Quest 11 Echoes of an Elusive Age still reigned at the top. Great Ace Attorney 2 for the Nintendo 3DS sold 79,499 copies during its first week of release, counting sales of the Great Ace Attorney 1 and 2 limited edition. The latest Media Create sales figures revealed. It was the best-selling new release of the week. Also launched in the same week was Crash Bandicoot and the Same Trilogy for the PlayStation 4, which opened up at 30,384 sales. Dragon Quest 11 Echoes of an Elusive Age remained at the top of the charts overall this week, selling an additional 300,714 units on the Nintendo 3DS and 200,798 units on the PlayStation 4 this week, for a total of 501,512 new sales, after opening over 2 million units last week. So Dragon Quest is still cooking it there in the land of the rising sun. Now let's talk about some of these software numbers first. I'm going to go over some of the more interesting titles. Now obviously we do the top 20 and a lot of the different top 20 here. We've got some older games. We got Super Mario Maker for the Nintendo 3DS still selling. That has eclipsed over 1 million units in Japan. Mario Kart 7 on the Nintendo 3DS has crept back into the top 20 after being absent for a little bit, with another 2,832 units for a grand total of nearly 3 million. It's creeping up on 3 million here, guys. In addition to that, Animal Crossing New Leaf Amiibo Plus for the Nintendo 3DS, that sold another 4,293 units for a grand total of 212,998 units. Down at number 15, which is kind of sliding down the charts here, that is Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age from Square Enix, 4,217 units for only a total of 132,188 units. Now, if you combine that with Final Fantasy XV's relative brief appearance in the top 20, I think the popularity of Final Fantasy is waving a little bit. So we'll see what happens going forward with the Final Fantasy franchise, and if they do tend to come to Nintendo systems in the future. Now at number 13, we do have Pokemon Sun and Moon on the Nintendo 3DS, another 4,321 units for a grand total of 3,304,705 units. Now getting into some of the Nintendo Switch games, and that is at number 11, we have The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild limited edition included, sold another 5,304 units for a grand total of 554,123 units. At number 10, we have ARMS, still in the top 10, that's definitely good to see, with another 5,472 units. Moving up to number 6, we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Nintendo Switch with another 13,764 units, which is also really good. And then at number 3, we have Splatoon 2 on the Nintendo Switch with another 74,235 units for a grand total of 827,646 units. Once again, PS4, Dragon Quest 11 Echoes of an Elusive Age, Square Enix, another 200,798 units on the PlayStation 4 for a grand total of 1,151,113 units. While on the Nintendo 3DS, that was the top game, sold 300,714 units for a grand total of 1,456,601 units. Now one thing to note, guys, is that the software sales here do not count digital sales, do not count online retailers. It's like a lot of stuff that this isn't necessarily counting. It's counting pretty much retail stores, or at least the majority of them, where most people do buy their games, but it's not counting the digital sales or anything like that. I think maybe some of them counts like the download cards that you get from stores, but I'm not sure if it's counting like Amazon and all the online retailers like Famitsu does. But either way, the numbers are accurate when it comes to the totality of Japan in terms of retail sales. Now, in the hardware sector, this is where I'm saying no Dragon Quest 11 on the Nintendo Switch, no problem at this point in Japan, because the hardware sales showed off some good things for Nintendo. So let's get into the numbers here. At number 11, we have the Xbox One with 90 units. At number 10, we have the PlayStation 3 with 96 units. At number 9, we have the Wii U at 158 units. At number 8, the new Nintendo 3DS at 1,078 units. At number 2, the 2DS with 3,740 units. At number 6, the PlayStation Vita with 4,773 units. At number 5, we have the PlayStation 4 Pro with 9,077 units. Number 4, new Nintendo 3DS XL with 22,200 units. At number 3, the new Nintendo 2DS XL with 33,871 units. At number 2, the PlayStation 4 with 43,862 units. And at number 1, the Nintendo Switch with 61,933 units. So very good for Nintendo there. They don't have Dragon Quest, yet it's still the top selling system, even when you combine all of the other like 3DSs and 2DSs and all of that, and you combine the PlayStation 4 Pro with the PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch was still on top. There was a little bit of a drop, but I'm guessing that's due to stock. Obviously, I did an article, or I did a video about the lines in Japan and how Japanese developers should be supporting the system. So I think out of all those thousands of people that lined up at that one store, like 5,000 people, only like 500 walked away with the Nintendo Switch. The demand is there. Nintendo just has to do a better job with the stock, but you've seen over the past 3 weeks, Nintendo has significantly boosted their sales when it comes to Japan. I think they were selling like around 17,000 to 20,000 to 30,000 range before Splatoon 2 came out. Then once Splatoon 2 hit, it shot all the way up to about 100,000 for the past 2 weeks. And then this week, we got another 61,000. And I'll tell you something right now, guys. When it came to the Nintendo Wii U, those sales were like never there. Like the only time that the Wii U would sell that much was like in the holiday season. It might reach those numbers in terms of like 100,000 for a week. But after that holiday passed up, it was right back down to 5,000, 4,000, barely 8,000, 7,000. Even in off weeks when it's not getting the big games, it's still selling pretty much double or triple the best weeks of the Nintendo Wii U. Now, it's also the system, the Nintendo Switch. It's also a Nintendo 3DS successor, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's still a portable as well as a home console. So it's definitely charting more on track with the 3DS, and it's actually surpassed it when it comes to at the same time frame. So it's definitely not wild to think that the Nintendo Switch could end up selling 20 to 30 million in Japan alone. I think if the stock is there, they can definitely do that. They're already, I think, above 1.5 million or something like that, or very close to that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Nintendo does going forward, because this is good. This is definitely good, because Dragon Quest is the biggest franchise in Japan. I'm not sure if there's another franchise when it comes to third party, when it comes to anything like that, that's bigger than Dragon Quest. And Nintendo Switch actually held that blow right there. It took some punches, but it kept going, and it's still selling well, and people still want the device. Splatoon 2, you can't say enough about that game. That was a big help in order to get more people to be excited about the Switch. Splatoon is a huge game. It's like the definition of evergreen. That game, Splatoon 2, is going to continue selling and continue selling and continue selling. So it's really good to see that. Some of the things that I noticed with some of these numbers here is that the PlayStation 4 is picking up some steam, which is definitely good because of Dragon Quest, but it seems to be dropping quite a bit. We had about a 50% drop or so, even with Dragon Quest out there, so that's a little worrying to see. I definitely would like to see a little bit better, but it is what it is. It's still selling okay. I think there are over 5 million units in Japan when it comes to the PlayStation 4, which is definitely not bad. The Nintendo 3DS is still around, still alive and kicking it. People still like it, and I think there's going to be people that are like, hey, I can't get a Switch right now, and that's cool. I'll just buy this 3DS. I'll just buy this 3DS. I'll just buy this Slime Edition Dragon Quest thing. I'm just going to roll with this so I can get myself a Nintendo Switch. I think this is cool. This is a good plan. I think the Japanese gaming industry is good when the numbers are showing health, because a lot of people like to write it off. And if you're looking at these sales, that's definitely not the case. And once again, Capcom being Capcom, not sure if they're going to localize these great Ace Attorney games that are doing pretty well in Japan. But yeah, they didn't localize the last couple ones and all that, so Capcom being Capcom, right guys? So let me know what you guys think about all of this. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. Now, I am going to take a couple questions that I asked you guys via Twitter. If you want to ask me a question, make sure you give me a follow, and you'll see my post on there. And then when you see my post, ask the question away when it comes to these media create sales analysis. All right, the first question comes from Marcus Sellers on Twitter. Shout outs to you, man. Here's his question. What do you think about there only being 4 Nintendo Switch titles in the top 20? Well, actually, if you look a little bit closer, it's actually 4 Nintendo Switch titles in the top 11. So I think that's actually pretty good. Now, I know what he was saying as far as the top 20 goes, there's only 4 Switch titles. But the thing about it is that it's not only the top 20. Obviously, if you look at the top 50, there's going to be more Nintendo Switch titles. But the Switch is new. It doesn't have as many games as the 3DS. It doesn't have as many games as the PlayStation 4. So it makes sense that it doesn't have as many titles in the top 20. But if you look at the top 20, it's actually really top heavy when it comes to the Nintendo Switch titles. So you're going to see 4 titles in the top 11, which is really good. Nintendo is comprising a lot of sales within that top 11 games. We have The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, we had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we had ARMS, and we also had Splatoon 2. So I actually don't think there's a problem there at all. And if you're looking at the 3DS, obviously the 3DS took a number of those titles there. So Nintendo overall is doing very good in Japan. And I would be maybe a little worried if like Zelda dropped off and if Mario Kart dropped off and if all the other games dropped off and it was just like Splatoon and that's it. But that's not the case. We actually have 4 titles in the top 11, so that's really good, especially considering that was back in March. Like Legend of Zelda and Mario Kart was back in April, and those games continue to sell well. Mario Kart is in the top half and everything. So I actually think it's pretty good, man. All right, and the next question comes from Gold Liger Master via Twitter. Shout outs to you, man, for the question. And his question is, explain that with all the support of third parties, why the PS4 is still lower in sales than the Switch. Well, I think it's very simple, and he's talking about the Japanese gaming industry, guys. And remember, this is all about the Japanese gaming industry. I think really what it is that the fact that the Nintendo Switch it's a portable system. You can take it anywhere you want. You know, PlayStation 4 is older, so therefore it's going to have more support because it's older. So more developers have had time to develop on the system, have got their kits. The Nintendo Switch is slowly picking up steam. We're starting to see more games being announced. So I think as time goes on, we're going to see more support. But the PS4, it's really more of a Western device, right? It's really geared more towards the Western audience. So it's not going to be as popular in Japan as a Nintendo Switch because the Japanese gamers like more portable systems. But yeah, you're going to start seeing more Japanese developers support the Nintendo Switch. We're already seeing that Square Enix is working on a Dragon Quest XI for the Nintendo Switch. We're going to get more. Square Enix also has Project Octopath and other games coming. So yeah, as time goes on, more developers will put their games out on the Switch, especially Japanese developers. And I think you're going to start seeing a lot of the support when it comes to third-party Japanese developers really even out going forward. All right, guys, that's all the time that I have for questions here. Thank you so much for asking them. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about all this analysis in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. It really helps us spread the content of PlayerEssence across the interwebs in addition to YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon page, pledge any tier, be entered to win some awesome prizes each month. In addition to that, we have Discord voice chat and $10 prize eShop titles for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, and more. Also, hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you ninja for the next video. Peace.